Okay, so this is a very simple step-by-step procedure that you can follow. Just very simple 3-step procedure that you can follow that allows you to get into trades as the one that you can see on the screen right now. I caught this trade today, just literally following this 3 step-by-step plan. So we'll go through it very quickly. Obviously, this is the trade right here that we saw today. And I'm just going to leave this right here so we can see where it is. But what we're going to concentrate on is this 3-step here. So first of all, bias. So when I talk about bias, what I want to say is the bias should be going off of the higher time frame. So I'm a scalper, and I take very quick trades. I like to see trades like this. Obviously, I don't hold all the way to the TP. However, we do take partials along the way, and we just play the trend. It's the much easiest way. It's the easiest way to trade. So step number 1, bias. So what do I do for my bias? So for my bias, I like to go to the higher time frame. So let me just delete all these right here. And the higher time frame for my bias that I use is I go into the 4-hour. Okay, so if we're on the 4-hour here and we just bring it to today, let's just move this over here. Okay, so today, what we were seeing on GJ, this is GJ, as we're kind of in this little bit of consolidation right here, and we have been ever since last week, Thursday. And what you can see here is like very many equal lows set up, or you could be saying, okay, there's a strong support being held here, likewise to the upside. However, coming from this big push from down here, my bias, you can see, was slightly more bullish than it was bearish. Okay, so if my bias was bullish, a little bit more bullish than bearish, and we can write this down just in the top of your chart. So this is what I do every time I come to the chart every morning. I check my 4-hour bias. So you can do 4-hour bias. What would that be? That would be bullish for this scenario. So let me just make that a little bit bigger, because you can barely see that. So my bias is 4-hour. Okay, so my 4-hour is bullish. So my bias is bullish. So then when I go down to the lower time frames, I'll go down to I like to get my entries off the 1-minute time frame, okay? And what I like to see, I don't have like the time zone indicators on. They're very easy to find, obviously, though. You know, you could just search up like, you know, ICT, kill zones, whatever you want to do, you know, kill boxes, whatever, you know, daily open closes. That's very simple. I just know when I'm trading on the charts. So when I came to the charts, I knew that my 4-hour was bullish. Okay, so my 4-hour was bullish. I want to go along with my time frame, my higher time frame bias. Okay, so now the second step is my entry. So there are loads of entry techniques, and I'm not going to go through all of them here. However, I'm just going to use one that I use the majority of the time, and that one is basically on the 1-minute time frame. I like to see a low being swept, and then from that low being swept, I then like to go and see price go and close above that specific resistance. Obviously it's resistance because the bias is bullish. So right now, let me just draw this out right here. Okay, so as you can see today, we were coming down. We were taking out lows. We weren't closing above resistance. Well, we not very cleanly anyway. We'd like to see a very clean structure break to the upside, and this was not doing this until we saw this. Okay, so we have a fairly relative equal lows, and we took that out very impulsively, and then we had a big move to the upside here, and that closed above 1 resistance, 2 resistance, and then you could say alongside this resistance here. So that's what I was looking at there, and I'll just quickly mark that out. So we had here, we had this taken out there, then we had a bullish move to the upside, and I actually got in my entry up here. So this is the beauty of it. So my entry was that reasoning, taking out lows and closing above the high. I see with also some indication of volume coming into the market. We got an entry here, and my stop was obviously below the low. So we had a rough 17 pip stop. And then what I like to do, what I like to do is I like to go for a 1 to 2. So then I place my TP at a 1 to 2, right? And that is just a very simple 3-step rule. My bias, 4-hour bias, bullish or bearish. Then I come down to the lower time frames, my entry criteria, what is it? Taking out lows and closing above highs because we are bullish. And then your TP, what can it be? It can be a set TP, it can be a 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, whatever it may be. It could be just a fixed, or it could be going off of something like having, okay, here's a resistance here, or there's a imbalance here, or we have to go and take out equal highs up here, or whatever it may be. Just something, it has to make sense for your TP to be in place. So all of these things need to be in place, and then you know that you can take a trade. Obviously, if you're taking a fixed R, you'll always be able to get into a trade. However, I do advise risk management with that, and I'll quickly go into a little bit here. So when I get into a trade, I like to have a 1-to-1 set. Okay, so if you just quickly just move this down to roughly a 1-to-1, just like that. So we're in a 1-to-1 here, and that's where I'll be taking profit. So that's where I will be having this written there, TP1, that I'll be taking profit here, and then I could be moving my stops to break even, or taking partials. And then we let the rest run to a 1 to 2. So I actually didn't get stopped out here because I had my entry there. I'll show later. Entry there, and that would have been your one there. And so that's actually what the trade looked like, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that's what the trade looked like, because it was fairly quick, and that's all you really need. That is a very simple 3-step rule that you can use. Just take into the markets, and it will allow you to be able to get into trades, to frame trades. You have to go along with the backtesting points that you have done. You have to go along with your psychology notes, etc., etc. However, this is just a very simple way to frame a trade to allow you to get in.